it's Desiree, day 10. We are here with day 10. And for day 10, I'm going to feature Maker Forte. I hope I'm saying that right. Two beautiful stamp sets. One is specifically for Christmas tags, and that is what is called. And the one on the right is called Holly Berries, and I just fell in love with these images. I love images that have all of that etching, those hatching marks. It is such a blessing to have those when you're coloring. It takes the frustration away because you know where to put your shading or to just let it there and it can be the shading itself. We are going to mass produce tags. That is what I'm going to be making today. And I believe I make a total of 8. So I have different sizes of craft cardstock. And a trick that I've been doing when I use my white embossing powder is I stamp with white pigment ink. And then I get a nice clear image with my white embossing powder. I've always been doing that because for me and white embossing powder, we just never got along. Now, silver, fine. Gold, fine. Any of the metallics, I'm fine. But white, I could never get crisp images until I learned that use white pigment powder. And that's a perfect way to get a good, crisp image. You can tell that I am not prepping these pieces of cardstock. I'm just putting down my white pigment ink because, again, they don't need to be that crisp. I'm okay with those little flakes being there. It helps to make them vintaged or a different time. Because I love the fact that they say, from Santa Claus, I still, and I am over 50, when I wrap my gifts, there is always one gift when I have multiple that says from Santa. Yes, because I believe. Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes my husband laugh. And he has to find it too. Because Santa is very sarcastic and mean and has to hide the gift. Or it comes out later as a surprise because Santa's sneaky and sarcastic. Yes, absolutely. I believe that. Once I have the tall ones done, you all learn a little bit more and more about me and you're all like, okay. I use 2 other images as well from the tags. So I'll be stamping those as well. And you can tell I'm putting those towards the bottom just a little bit because I'm going to do, cutting of the tag trick that I do. I cut the one side, I flip it over, put it to the other side and cut along that. And then I have a tag the same size. These are all cut to the same size. So these are 1 3/4 inches wide and they are 2 3/4 inches high. Once they're done, we'll finish heat setting those and getting those set up. The white embossing powder that I'm using is by Brutus Monroe. It's their fine detailed alabaster. That embossing powder is one that I do get great results with for fine details. And some of these did have some fine details on them when it came to the embellishments. So that's why I did choose that. We'll get these all heat set up and then we will get ready to turn them into tags. I do like to use my tweezers. They have a sharp point and I'm able to just pick these up without burning my fingers because I usually do that. The other thing the other images that we want to stamp are the hollies. Now, again, we're making a lot of tags. In this case, I'm making 8. So we're not going to get into super duper details, but that doesn't mean that we can't add color and shimmer to them. So I have some watercolor, Canson watercolor scraps that I've cut to a certain shape, and I'm going to be using 3 different shapes of the hollies. So I'm using the long branch, and then I'm going to use one that looks like it fits in a corner, and then the other one that looks like it fits in the corner. So I'll be using 3 of the 4 shapes. Once they're set, I'm able to stamp 2 at a time. I'm positioning them in my stamp positioning tool that way. Again, I'm going to come in with my clear ink. And because this is Canson watercolor paper, it's cold press, it's got texture to it. So I am going to double stamp these to make sure that I have a good impression. I'm going to come in with my gold embossing powder. Now the gold embossing or the silver embossing powders that I use, they are by Recollections, and I get that at Michael's. I think I get beautiful results with those. I'm going to heat set those. So these are nice large images. Now again, these are on rectangles. We're going to turn these into tags as well. We're going to make double layer tags, which are always fun because the top layer is the cute, it's almost the embellishment where you'll be able to write your message on the other side of the larger tag to your recipient. It can also be used as your card as well. That you can put on your gift. So you don't have to do, you know, a tag and a gift and a card. This is actually all combined. I try to think ahead that way. But I do know the moment that these are made, these will be taken by my sister. So yeah, she takes all the tags I make. Plus that's one thing that I get for her. So all of these tags, when it comes to them, I really don't get a chance to use them. They all go into this big box, and every year my sister gets a box for me from Christmas of all of this stuff. And if I don't give it to her, she hollers at me. Yeah, I made that mistake one year. Yeah, didn't go so well. It's always fun. So you can see, even if you just stamp these and just do the gold embossing, they're beautiful. I mean, they're elegant because of that design, that etching. I am a fan of the etched line look on stamped images. It's like pattern paper. It does the work for you, and they just stand out on their own. It's elegant. It's absolutely elegant. So these, you could just let them like that, cut them into tags, and you have some beautiful tags there to give to somebody for a gift, or for the gifts that you give to your recipients. So we're down to our last tag. And again, showing the full process of all of this when it comes to this series. I don't do too much editing, except if I walk away from the film for a while and just let it keep going. I cut that out. There's a couple times I did that. I figured out how long an iPhone will run and record before it turns off. Well, at least mine. Yep. It's 12 hours. That was a lot of editing. Woof. I'm then going to take my hole reinforcers. And I do this a lot for my junk journals. You can change as long, they've got to be the Avery brand, the paper brand. So you want to be careful that they're not slick. And if they are slick, that's fine. You just need to use an archival ink so that it'll stay on there, or use markers, Sharpies to color them. And I'm just dousing them with some vintage photo. For these nice long tags, I can just follow the line of the image. And for these, I'm going to cut off that one corner, flip it around, put it to the other side, and then just cut along that. And there is my template for all of the rest. And I just cut along that edge, just like we do with our cards. When we go over the edge, we just cut along it to trim it up. And then they are all set. So I'm going to bring in my Arteza metallic watercolors, and I'm going to put some water in 3 of the colors just to let them set. It's best with metallics. You've really got to let that water get in there and then mix it up. And I'm just going to put in the colors. There's no blending. There's none of that. Because this is metallic watercolors, it's going to give some wonderful and beautiful shimmer and shine right off the bat. So I'm just using the darkest red that I have in my metallics. And then I'll use a couple different greens. Again, just dropping these colors in. And I don't have to be too neat because I did heat emboss, so I've got that barrier that's going to keep the watercolor in. And every once in a while, I will add some of that darker green that I activated as well. All right, so you'll be able to sit back and enjoy this. Again, lots of videos going on here. So I'm going to turn on some nice soft holiday music and you can sit back and enjoy. Okay, we have all of them colored. We just heat set them because I was impatient, and I'm just testing to make sure that the areas are dry, and if there's some small areas, I'll pick that up with my, I'm using a baby wipe to go along that. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm just going to cut off that corner, flip it over, and then that becomes my template. So basically I have 3 different sizes of scrap pieces here. So I wanted to use them up. By using the different images, we were able to dig into that stash, just in case we weren't going to have something to, that small to stamp. Once that's all set, I will pull out the vintage photo to go around the edges of these. Now, you don't have to do that. You can leave them plain the way that it is there, but those of you know I love my vintage photo to go around, especially for these images. I've punched a hole into those tags, and what's great with this hole puncher, sorry, I don't know where I got this. I don't even know what type of hole puncher this is, so I very much apologize. It is the perfect width or circumference hole that punches 4 hole reinforcers. It's awesome. But even if it wasn't, it would still work. So don't go hunting for that hole puncher. Use what you have, and then even if the hole that you've created is a little larger, that's okay. The hole reinforcers will cover that up because I do put them on both sides, especially for the holly. Because of the size of that tag, you will see the other side of that tag. So I am very much used to putting a cover on the front and the back of each of the tags. And then we'll just flip these over to finish them off. And now here comes the vintage photo. So for every piece, I do go around with the vintage photo. So what's great is if you have a white gel pen, or even a regular pen will work on the craft cardstock. So you'll be able to write a small message there, but you can also write your message either on the front of this tag, down below each of the holly leaves, or you would be able to write it on the other side of the larger tag. Excuse me. So these are what I'm calling my double-decker tags. I love to add interest to tags. Now I'm just fanning out where the crafts are going to go and all of that fun stuff. But tags to me, tags and ornaments. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy making cards. As I said before, you know, would you want a holiday channel? Because I could make a Christmas card every day. I'm going to add some twine to the tops of these. And again, nothing fancy. Because we have a double layer tag, I'm just adding a double layer of a piece of twine. So nothing loopy, nothing too fancy. Don't want to take away from the double tag that we have created. But yeah, I love tags. Tags are like, the bigger the tag, the better. And you can make anything a tag. It doesn't have to be something that's small. We can make shaker tags. We can do all kinds of things. So here are our tags that we made. Again, quick. Didn't take hardly any time at all. I think these were all done within an hour, and that included the drying time for the metallic paint to dry. So 8 tags, no time. I hope you enjoyed day 10. All the products that I used will be listed down below, again, as long as they're available. Again, dig into your stash. Look at the techniques that I used here and apply them to what you have. Make it your own. Have fun with it. Or do exactly what I did here. That's fine. Just enjoy the process. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy. I hope you are enjoying this series so far. I know I am. I loved making all of these cards. I had fun with each and every one of them. I didn't get too crazy with so many different types of items. I kind of did stick with cards and tags. So I thought that was pretty cool. I went with what I felt. But again, remember guys, remember what's always important to me. Always be creative, and I'll be talking to you with day 11. Till then.